Godwyn Run part 46. So we're done with this area over here, the foggy area. So now I would like to explore the river. I forgot to change the time of day. Oh no, I guess I should get the mausoleum first, just to save my graphics card. So many nascent butterflies. Oh, the fire. Oh. I think this is the worst one, by the way. Oh, fuck this fire. Holy shit. That's a lot of damage. Oh, that was close. Bro. Maybe I should free cam. I mean, don't focus you. Oh, fuck. What? Got him. Death was burning ghost flame. Deathbirds were the keepers of that fire. Okay, we got at least one item over here. Because there are two land octopuses in front of it, maybe it's related to this references over there. Godwyn Run 13. What's related to this place? I would say probably to the land octopus. God. I think I haven't upgraded my weapon for a long time. Maybe I should do that. But let's get the runes back first.
I took you for no matter. Lay out your arm.
I totally forgot about the Dung Eater questline, by the way. And I haven't done the Gale Tunnel? Wait. I think I missed some minor areas. Oh, let's do that real quick. I was pretty sure I was already in this tunnel. Oh shit. I forgot that I'm not a Night Rain. Oh, I wasn't here. Smithing Stone 2. Godwyn Run 5. What's interesting is it might fit with references to Godwyn when it comes to the golden pickled fowl, gold pickled fowl feed, because there is one and it's hidden. So, because he's a red main soldier, standing right next to him, and there's a gold pickled fowl hidden behind some boxes. Maybe it's a reference to Godwyn the Golden, who hides his existence of Redigan. That's my take, at least. He was a Golden Rune 5, which mentions the Earth Tree. Usually it's an Earth Tree reference. Would fit the circumstances here. And then... And we got this. Cross Naginata. A 3-pronged blade. So number 3 is highlighted. Hey Nicholas, what's up? Just randomly looking into this channel. 5 Flintstone scrap. And 5 Grace Mimic. And Grace Mimic are strange. It's just another playthrough or a run where I'm looking out for environmental details. And yeah, in the end it's more for myself and for my theory crafting. And right now I'm making a break from of producing videos and just go with another run to get some new ideas. And yeah, in between I give some commentary regarding my interpretations so far to get some more insight, give some more insights. So that's what I'm doing, and it's with the Godwyn build in mind, because which builds up on my videos. So That's why I call it the Godwyn Run, because I thought it would be fun to yeah, make a build complementing my videos. So it has nothing to do with a real challenge, like like a rune level 1 challenge or so. Oh, I got the wrong edge of war. I'm from Germany. But I lean more forward to producing my videos in English and also to stream in English. But sometimes there's still a little bit of a language barrier. But it seems like everyone can understand what I try to explain. Yeah, there are days that I look at that you can definitely hear my accent more clearly. It's just that sometimes I'm missing some vocabulary. But it's like it's quite fun because like streaming helps me a lot to practice English, and I'm getting better with every stream. And when I was producing my videos, I wrote all my scripts in German and then translates them and just record them for the voiceover, and that also helped a lot, to be honest. I think that can be said for, yeah, for every language and their native speakers. Yeah, was I missing anything else? Oh yeah, the Dung Eater quest line. Oh, damn. I mean, you're welcome to check out my videos. I recommend to give them a try. If you're interested in lore, at least.
Greetings. Are you here for
Yeah, sure. Airport. I once last year I accidentally checked in China by accident because I was also just there for a transition flight, and I accidentally went the wrong way and checked in. I was yeah, pretty in a hurry because I had to get the next flight and had to not only have I waited a long time to go through check-in, but also needed a long time to check out again. So to get the flight, it was, yeah, a little bit stressful, especially because I was separated from my two friends, who they then recommended to go the other route just to stay in the transit area.
I need to warn you about something.
You love Elden Ring lore? Yeah, bro. Then I would like to introduce you to my stuff because I'm
howling and wailing of spirits in fear of a curse.
usually I'm pretty
Even here,
hopeful
the
that
voice of
I
twisted malice in itself.
can convince people of
Plethora
some stuff.
Spirits in an unceasing cacophony. I
If
can't
you're not
even imagine
convinced, then at least you will definitely
how
scratch
much
your head by
suffering
watching my videos.
inflicted to who knows how many souls. Not even the
I put a lot of
caused
work
anything
in
like
them.
this to happen. You should keep your distance. I know you're strong, but please.
How do you feel about Godwyn not being in the DLC already? Not that bad anymore, because so one part of my theory is about that I'm definitely convinced, I'm firmly convinced that our protagonist is actually Godwyn reborn, but with lost memories. So yeah, it's like it's a little bit like 4D chess, because you as the player who just plays the game is like a stroke of a genius, because you play the game without knowledge what came before, and in the same way I'm convinced that we are actually Godwyn reincarnated, but with lost memories. And yeah, there definitely were some connections between Miquella and Godwyn, and so many people were convinced that there is some connection and that Miquella tried to resurrect Godwyn. Yeah, and I think that there's still so much stuff missing, or that he did not end up being in the DLC, has definitely more to do with the fact that we are probably Godwyn reincarnated. What I'm convinced of.
Have you ever felt the curse? With your whole being, the pox upon life itself, feared and despised by all. The reviled blessing.
I know that we will never get an absolute answer, like we will never have the fact that it is like this, but for me it's no question anymore, actually. Maybe I'm able to convince you. My videos, I have to say, the information are incredibly vague, and not only that, I think they From Software is playing a lot with literal and metaphorical meaning. In most cases, I think it's more the subtle alternative metaphorical meaning that is the actual meaning that helps in decoding the lore. And because of this, a lot of stuff relies on interpretation and proper interpretation, and in the end I think it works more like a puzzle. And not only that, I think they were heavily losing literary stylistic devices, and especially character parallels. So that, I mean, that's nothing that new in the community, but that minor characters mirror the story of major characters. But you have to so, and I'm working on this for a really long time, and I'm spending almost all of my free time puzzling around, and I even try to explain my perspective and approach in one of my videos, just to make my approach comprehensible, because I think the majority of the community could I mean, I'm convinced of my approach, of course, but I would like to see just others, or a bigger part of the community taking the same approach as I do. On which video are you referring to? If you say a 6-hour video.
Wait. have felt the curse. I can smell it on you. The pox, yet tender.
Thanks, you, Vitalik. I really appreciate that. And I will do produce videos again. It's just, if it's like now that I
Trapped in the sewer jail below the capital.
I just feel like it's no time for this playthrough. And when I'm finished with this playthrough and looked into everything with more detail again, from a slightly new perspective a little bit, then I will start to produce videos again. Yeah, the We Are Godwyn complete series. Though I have to say, if you look into the We Are Godwyn series, there might be, or there are some little parts where the interpretations, and as I said, I think we rely on interpretations, the interpretations might not always be 100% correct. And it's something that I continuously try to re-evaluate. This is just part of the process. But with 90% of what I say, I'm convinced of it for the most part, and it's more about recognizing the big picture, the big background story. But it's not done yet. I have bigger ambitions because this is just like probably the first 20% of what I try to examine, and I gave myself some common thread by focusing on major characters and trying to tell their stories, but also and then go step by step through different lore tidbits. Vitalik, for example, I wasn't that sure when it comes to the guidance of grace, for example, in chapter 4 of the Godwyn series. I assumed the guidance of grace is somehow linked to America. Besides that, I think that the concept of America is incredibly complex because there are different entities that are intertwined, like Radigan in America, but not all, but the Elden Beast or the Elden Ring as well. I think it's kind of complex, and it doesn't hurt my theory, I think, in the We Are Godwyn series, because I don't build up much on it. But in the Godfrey series that I now started in the first chapter, I try to correct myself there because I am firmly convinced now that, and fits incredibly well with a lot of other stuff, that the guidance of grace is actually something that originates from the Elden Ring and, yeah, maybe the Elden Beast in a way, and the Greater Will. So primarily I would say it originates from the Elden Ring, but it's intertwined with the Elden Beast, or even the Elden Beast itself, and as a vessel of the Greater Will, it originates in some way from the Greater Will and the Elden Ring. Yeah, definitely. The Elden Ring is definitely my favorite game. I think the depth of this game is incredibly underestimated, and I would just love to make others realize how big of a literary masterpiece this actually is. I mean, it's already a masterpiece for everyone, but there's still so much more that people, I think, or just there are just so many little dots that haven't been connected yet, and this results in something that has incredibly more depth, and it's there in my opinion. It's just that we have to, and that's what I tried like 1.5 years ago, we have to shift our perspective a little bit, and yeah, people will definitely talk about this game for decades. I hope so, at least. It's something you could definitely study, because it's more a work of art, way more than people even realize, maybe. Because at some point, especially after the DLC, a lot of people were, after the fight against Rodan, a lot of people were just, it's a little bit anticlimactic. But I think it might even be on purpose that it's anticlimactic, because it's supposed to let you wonder, what is this all about? Is that it? I think they aimed for this thought of, is that it? Is that the story of Elden Ring? Is there nothing more? And that's the question that I had as well. Because you just wonder, I was wondering how Miyazaki, who got so much love for detail and usually gets so is so ambitious, and you can see the ambition that they had for this game in a lot of details. There are so many details that they put effort in to put them into the game, and it's I couldn't understand why to think that there are so many details and so much stuff just arbitrarily put into the game. I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that they're just mashing up loose ends and put them all in the game. I mean, that's not how a company like that would work, right? I mean, there had to be some kind of concept in the background. There had to be some ideas how they are working, and this was what I was working on afterwards too, because I tried to understand the perspective of From Software and how they were creating these characters, or why they placed the items like they placed them. I mean, I don't think it's realistic to say, yeah, they just look at the map and they put just some items arbitrarily over there and there and there and there and there, and that's it. That makes no sense to me. And I think I've actually cracked how they are designing these characters, and how they are placing the items, and it's it's definitely different than people would expect. And it's not the first game. People should wonder now that there might be something that we don't understand. And I can understand that people are frustrated and end up just with the implication that it's just utter bullshit. It's just they're just definitely 1,000 loose ends, and they are just mixing them up, and there is no backstory behind it all. It's just a patchwork of some random ideas. And I was at a point where I just took a step back and tried to re-evaluate my perspective and fundamental assumptions that I had. And yeah, and how I see Elden Ring, at least they're a big part of it, I try to explain in the video, Let's Finally Crack Elden Ring. Yeah, if you're interested in that, you're welcome to look into that.
Go and unshackle my corporal, trapped in the sewer jail below the capital. I can kill you and defile your corpse, then the pox will truly be your own.
Who's your favorite Elden Ring boss for lore or gameplay? Oh, that's a hard one. The cutscene of Maliketh has probably the most aura. But I really like Godfrey. Although the boss fight is not that yeah, I think it could have been a little bit more difficult, probably. I think, just to make it even more epic. Oh yeah, Masmar's design is incredible as well. Yeah, that's true. I haven't thought of the DLC right now. Yeah, I mean the DLC bosses like Masmar and Bale, they got so much, such a nice atmosphere. I really like Relana's soundtrack in the DLC. They had an alternative version for the gameplay trailer, or for the Shadow of the Earth Tree trailer, which is not included in the game. There's just a slightly calmer version of it in Relana's fight. I think you know which one I mean, I guess. No, I have to change the Ash of War. I don't think there were a bunch of cut dialogue. I think some bosses had one dialogue line, I think, or maybe two, just as an introduction to the boss fight. Like Radahn, for example, should have said something like, "I was bred for battle" or so, and I don't know what Relana was supposed to say. Yeah, there was one line with Mesmer, for example, in which he's mentioning or hinting to a dialogue with Mikola. Yeah, go for it. I love to exchange some stuff. Did that one be dead? Yeah. They removed what? In what way did it confirm that Melina was his sister? Did it literally said Melina? Did it literally said Melina is his sister? So, when it comes, for example, with 1.0 and in the base game's later version, in a lot of cases I think it had to do with making connections more vague. Sometimes I think they just adjusted the references that they try to tell. but another thing is that I have a controversial opinion on. So, not only my perspective is sometimes a little bit controversial, but also my perspective, especially my perspective on the DLC, probably. So, for one, I think, for one, I see. For example, when it comes to the minor characters, not only the minor characters, but also when it comes to the demigods, I think almost every character is supposed to mirror one of the main characters, which I think are Radagon, Godfrey, America, and sometimes also Godwyn, Melina, and the Greater Will. So, primarily, I think they are designed to mirror one of the main characters. And in my opinion, this also applies to the DLC. And when I read something like Mesmer's Remembrance description, for example, I see Mesmer, for example, more as a parallel, some character that mirrors someone else. And then in the case of Mesmer, I think he's more or less supposed to mirror some part of Radagon's story. Yeah, it's probably hinting at Melina. That's something that I would believe too. I just think it goes a bit deeper. Because once you realize that they might that they are designed like parallels, the flavor text gets more depth, because then it's just one part of a bigger puzzle when it comes to the main character that might lie behind it. Yeah, I would say just to make it more vague in this case. Wait, I haven't talked to the Dung Eater, to Blackguard, I think. Is he still there?
All right, mate.
Yeah, the butterfly connection is interesting. I'm still wondering sometimes about them.
Marika's tits.
You know, this is an incredibly interesting situation here. You might be thinking that I'm absolutely crazy, or Shizu, because in one of my videos I explained that Big Bogart over here is probably referencing some part of Godwyn's story. And they seem to even use metaphors like he's cooking something up. I think a lot of stuff in here is incredibly abstract because it's more about ideas and metaphors sometimes. And there are some things, or or some reasons why I consider Big Bogart as a parallel to Godwyn. So not only is he now something cooking up here, there's an interesting little detail, because if you buy boiled, yeah, check them out. If you buy boiled prawn for the first time, in that situation you get the gesture spread out, which could be interpreted as playing dead or being dead. So if you buy boiled prawn for the first time,
Never met someone with a taste for prawn I couldn't trust. We'd make good mates, I reckon. I'll be seeing you.
it's in this situation where you get the spread out gesture. And if you think about spread out and a boiled prawn, it's interesting. It's incredibly vague, I know, but the more you look at these little references, the clearer it gets that there is something to them. And I think it's a reference to Godwyn being dead, and the boiled prawn is some little reference to his tail fin. A lot of people call me crazy for this, but just look into the videos. And for example, like the line, "True connoisseurs know how to keep from oversalting," is referring to the circumstances that those who partook in the Night of the Black Knives knew how to use it without killing Godwyn's soul entirely. And that it's even mistaken as crayfish, as prawn, although it's crayfish, is a little nod to the fact that Godwyn's corpse is mistaken to symbolize his death, for example. And the last line, "Not that it matters, it's delicious all the same," there they use irony, which is also considered a literary device.
Marek.
And because these are all references to Godwyn, it's no coincidence that his second location where he appears is right here with Godwyn-related crabs. My biggest challenge is, I mean, besides trying to figure out all the references and what they mean, I really put a lot of effort into trying to explain them as convincing as possible. I mean, he definitely is a key figure. Yeah. So the whole cooking up part is like Godwyn cooking up or being part of the Night of the Black Knives. So that's what the cooking metaphor is about. And it's no coincidence that he's his second location is right next to Godwyn-related crabs. I mean, they're incredibly rare. They're just like 2 locations where they can be found. And while the prawn is mistaken, which is actually crayfish, and in the same way, like Godwyn's corpse is like wrong and interpreted, like people think he's dead, but he's actually not. In comparison, the crabs are actually...
What are you looking at? Oh, perfect bloody time. I got crab cooked up fresh.
Yeah, he got a crab cooked up fresh. And in comparison, the crabs, they are actually crab, as it's said in the description. Unlike the prawn soul, this truly is crab. Now that it matters, it's delicious all the same. And in this case, it's about the fact that the crabs are in some way traces of Godwyn's escape, which no one really noticed. So they got different kind of details on them, which can be found nowhere else. For example, the golden hair, the gold eyes, and the turquoise color. And you can find these colors and these pustules on different items. And the first one, so it even starts with the color turquoise on Godwyn's corpse. And then you find the Prince of Death's cyst in here. The next location is that you find the pustules on the crabs in here. The next location you find crabs with the same pustules in here. And the Prince of Death pustule is last placed in Stormvale. And they more or less point to Stormvale and reference his escape, which leads from Lane Dell up until Stormvale, where he ends up in the Chapel of Anticipation.
Marika's tits. Mate, there's something I should probably tell you. You heard of the Dung Eater? He's a madman. Has it out for everyone. Curses them. Goes round in his rank armor and all. You see him though. Stay, well, away. I was in the same jail as him once, so I know firsthand. He's a god-forsaken monster. Not just some petty thug like me.
And the Knight of the Black Knives is more or less about Godwyn also escaping Radagon's influence, and that's what the Dung Eater parallels in some way. So the Dung Eater is mirroring Radagon's stories.
He's a killer. Kills people. And curses the souls. Does all sorts of shit to the corpses. To keep them cursed forever. I ain't seen nothing more disgusting in all my years. I ain't ever been more scared neither. Rooted to the bloody spot while he did that. To my friend.
Yeah. And I think even a little reference is the fact that Bogart, for example, asked us to kill him because he don't want to live like that anymore. And in the same way, Godwyn is kind of going through death to escape the curse of the Elden Ring and Radagon. So the Knight of the Black Knives is more of a ritual, which is about escaping the influence of the Elden Ring, Greater Will, and Radagon. But it's also supposed to deceive them, and for Godwyn to escape without anyone else noticing. Shouldn't he be dead by now?
All right, mate.
Oh.
Go and trapped in the sewer jail. I can kill you, then the pox will truly be your own.
Oh, I haven't told him to leave the prison.
out of here. Must eat more. Defile more. Everything that matters to you for generations to come. I am the Dung Eater, a scourge upon the living. Let me out. Let me out of here. I've been here long enough. I will kill again. And defile each corpse with care. Just to be sure that when they're reborn, they'll be cursed. Along with their children. And their children's children. For all time to come. I will kill it just to be sure they'll be cursed.
No, I can't teleport out of here. He's still living, what the fuck? Maybe I still have to talk to him in the roundtable hold. I'll defile you next, come to the auto mode. Was this corpse always there? Probably. Why? Maybe I should. Maybe I have to talk to him once again.
All right, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I've seen it here again. Never thought I would. What he does to those bodies. It was him. No question. That monster. He's lurking round here. Marek.
Yeah, let's buy some crabs before, maybe. You don't need so many. Let's get like 100.
Never met someone with a taste for crab I couldn't trust. You've got a real thing here, eh? And it's only getting better. Marek is
Oh. Ah. I guess I have blighted. So, no, the Dungita should be there, yeah. Hey, bro.
serves me right. Fitting bloody end. For a jumped up little shit with big ideas.
What kind of eye color does he have? Blue? Yeah.
Help me out. Would you, mate? I don't want to get cursed. Just let me die. I don't want to live like this. Not anymore. So, please.
So he says something like he don't want to get cursed and that we should kill him for because of that. And in my opinion, it references the circumstances of Godwyn, who decided to go through death.
And devour your corpse. Then the pox will soon be your own.
Oh shit. Guys, can you please chill? The crab got him. Son of Milos. I don't know if that was at the end really the inspiration, but this iron mask resembles a specific iron mask from a specific movie, where it's about a prisoner who was rumored to actually be, I think, some kind of prince or son or royal member, and he was imprisoned and got this mask, so his identity wasn't revealed. I just don't know what the movie is called. It's interesting to think about that it might be even that the inspiration might come from there. Movie, prisoner, royal, family, identity. I mean, it's not that similar. Or is it? Oh, is it even called Iron Mask? Wait. Man in the Iron Mask. Oh yeah, it's even called The Man in the Iron Mask. Oh, is it? Oh, it seems to be part of the story of the Three Musketeers as well. If so, it would fit the fact that we already have a reference to the Three Musketeers. Wait a second. Because on the Cape of Leonel, the Lionhearted, for example, there's already a reference to the Three Musketeers, which is, in my opinion, probably obvious there, because there are three rapiers who form the one for all and all for one saying. It's yeah, okay. In the movie, it's even a twin of the king. I wonder what the sword of Minos actually looked like without the bones around it. Where is it? There we go. Does it read? Oh. Could it be? No. I just wonder if it's resembling another sword that we have in game. The the bottom part of the hilt reminds me of the Sunrealm sword of the skeletons. Not this one. That one. But it's not the same as it seems. Nah. Bro, I don't want to fight. Okay, but at least now we got the Dung Eater quest. How is he? That's not here.
There you are. You warded off my blessing, despite the curse stirring within you. No one has succeeded in that before. How? I thought then it hit me that you are, in fact, me. And I am the Dung Eater. It is my flesh that must receive the blessing. Give me your blessing. Defile my flesh with the seedbed curse, again and again, until it is done. Until a cursed ring coalesces that may one day defile order itself. Countless I have killed, and countless I have defiled, and soon the fruits will be born. Hundreds will be reborn cursed, and they'll bear thousands of cursed children, who bear tens of thousands more. A few of those will be born just like me, and they'll kill and defile and bless in my stead. The rotten fools. My fate was the grandest, most brilliant of them all. My corporeal flesh lies in the sewer jail beneath the capital. Give it your blessing. Defile my flesh with the seedbed curse, until a curse ring coalesces that may one day defile order itself. Give it your blessing till a curse ring.
Dung Eater is so interesting. Oh, there's also memory stone with this one. Forgot about that. Huh. I could continue like and give him the seedbed blessings, seedbed curses. I mean, I don't want to right now. So let's continue the consecrated snowfield and. So I'm pretty sure that along the river there are references to Radagon. Maybe some minor references to America, but in most cases it's about Radagon. It probably starts with the death right bird over here. I'm not exactly 100% sure in which way it refers to Radagon America, but it's probably a reference to the very distant past. But later on, there's definitely something about the reference here over here with Anastasia. Which I already pointed out in the Godfrey series. But Anastasia is referencing the slaughter of the Tarnished after the banishment. Because her first location is directly in front of the sword monument, referring to Godfrey's banishment, and that of the Tarnished. Have I killed her already? Probably already have. Shadow's Lure. It's strange that it's it's mentioning a silent prayer. Is there anything else nearby? Oh yeah. One smithing stone 8. Hey, Stango Bango. Give me a second. I got this albinoric here. Okay, never mind. Oh, I'm glad that you love the videos so far. I was wondering, could the reason Melania fought her down is because he was holding the stars, which was stopping the moon from eclipsing? I don't think so. Oh. So, from my perspective, I think it's a little bit different. Or at least I see these a little bit different, these characters like Melania and Radahn especially. Because, are you familiar with the concept of parallels? Yeah? Okay. And because I think especially the fight between Malenia and Radahn is probably one of the biggest, or maybe even the biggest parallel that we have in game. And I mean, it's even incredibly emphasized in their trailers as well. And you may remember the very first teaser of 2019. In the very first teaser that we got for Elden Ring in 2019, the scenes are all about the shattering, and there are scenes of Marika and Radagon in the moment of the shattering of the Elden Ring. And these scenes keep switching between the shattering and Marika and Radagon and the fight of Malenia and Radahn. So this is what the first teaser is all about. I mean, there are a few seconds where you see Godric with grafting hands, but for the most time it's all about the shattering and Marika and Radagon. And the other scenes that we got in this teaser are the fight of Malenia and Radahn. I am firmly convinced that they did this on purpose because it's all about parallels, and so I think primarily the fight between Malenia and Radahn is supposed to parallel the event of the shattering and the conflict between Marika and Radagon. And everything that you might have mentioned right now, in my opinion, from my perspective, have to be more seen as references, so as some kind of allusions. And for example, Radahn is someone that Radahn is someone who has been left behind, half dead after the fight between Malenia. And in the same way, Radagon was left behind, half dead in the Earth Tree. So that's just one thing that they have that they share. So, but it goes on and on and on. The more you know, the more you realize. And for example, like Radagon is described as the Leal Hound, and Jaren portrays Radahn as someone who howls to the sky or to whatever. And I mean, he's doing this in the intro scene before you fight him, for example. And him holding back the stars is a reference and allusion to the fact that Radagon contains the Elden Beast, which could also be described as stars in some way, as Astels, for example, are described as stars. So Radahn holding back the stars is actually about Radagon containing the Elden Beast. And when it's about Ranni's fate that he holds, in my opinion, it's also about Marika's soul that Radagon contains also. So, yeah. And there are some more that are a bit, or rely on heavy speculation, but for example, like Malenia, who starts to bloom, I think refers to Marika, who in the moment of the shattering turns in some way into the Earth Tree consisting of grace. And it kind of makes sense that the description of Radahn holding back the stars is probably a reference to Radagon holding the Elden Beast inside, because in an earlier version, phase 2 of Radahn, there should have been an Astel coming down, like a meteor, and not Radahn himself. So that would have made it probably even more clearer as a reference to Radagon holding the Elden Beast inside of him. Imagine you fight Radahn and in Phase 2 you fight an Astel, compared to fighting Radagon and then the Elden Beast in Phase 2. Probably it would have been too obvious, or they changed it for other reasons. But yeah, they make these things incredibly vague. So I can't really answer your question because from the perspective of seeing these things in more literal, I don't know. For me, they start to make more sense when I look at them as parallels. I don't know if I could answer your question. So what do we have here? 2 strip of white flesh. Are you coming with me? Come over here. Three smithing stones. Over there were 3 old fang. 2 white flesh. Do you want to fight the Great Worm? I got the fire affinity on my claymore, that's not good. Maybe the land octopus is staggering him. That would be nice. No, it's the other way around. Is he moving? Yeah. Uncooked. When it comes to these parallels, there's like a lot of work behind it. It's not that I'm just just randomly claim parallels. It's like I'm continuously trying to evaluate my parallels. So, I mean, of course. What? I've never seen him jumping like that. I mean, of course, in the very start you have to assume a parallel, but then you have to look to the details and try to make sense of them. And there have been cases where I had to adjust my interpretations, for example. It's part of the process. But with Rodana Millennia, for example, I'm pretty sure already. Especially because of the 2019 teaser. It fits just too well. And this is... and these are the situations where I start to be firmly convinced when it just fits too well. Hello? Yeah, the camera is the biggest problem here. Oh no. Woohoo! Oh, I got him. Got him staggered. Oh, fuck no. Yeah, got him. Oh, bet. No, first try. Oh, 3 dragon hearts. It's giving 3. If you get all 3 of the land squids to attack at the same time, the dragon works per well group than beforehand. Yeah, I think I tried that in the past sometimes. And it's interesting. It's not only only the character parallels. I think it's even sometimes the map design. And I'm convinced that the river over here contains references to Radagon. And even the malformed dragon is probably a reference to him. The cave as well. And it looks like it have been a waterfall in the past. And it ends up to the Shack of the Lofty. And with Juno Horslow. Which I think it's also a Radagon parallel. So in this case, when it comes to the waterfall, for example... The waterfalls seem to symbolize transformation, and you have someone with the powers of a dragon, and over the waterfall you got someone who became ruler of a house without resistance, and yeah, and also a dead maiden with them, or at least the Finger Maiden said, but it's I think referencing Radagon with powers of a dragon in the past, who became second Elden Lord without much resistance because Godfrey was banished. And yeah. Even Dialos as a Godfrey parallel, in my opinion, complements this. So how do I get up there? Oh. Hmm. That's the guilty hood. Hmm. Hey, Zed. Right. So, Cave of the Forlorn. Hey, Kickerman. Long time no see. Should level up. Should I go for vigor? Probably. I think it's no coincidence that we find here a dragon inside, because I think it contains some references to Radagon. I think because I think the Cave of the Forlorn, I think it might be about Radagon as someone who's forlorn in some way. Golden Rune 7. I've been watching a Breaking the Elden Ring code video for a week now. For a week? What do you mean the Let's Finally Crack Elden Ring? Have you watched it multiple times, or or did you need to watch it or have you just watched it step by step? Hmm. 4 freezing grease. I could refer, so the freezing grease I would usually interpret as a reference to Renna or America Renna, but the number 4 as some kind of great luck. Maybe it refers to the items down there as well. Maybe it's linked to them. Because the jellyfish are, in my opinion, also a reference to America Renna. The whole ice, jellyfish, the moon theme. Hmm. The most intriguing item here in this cave are actually the spirit flame arrows, which are incredibly rare. I don't even know if you can craft them. No, I should just use the lantern. Use the lantern. Oh, rats. Oh. I haven't seen them. One of them, jellyfish aren't aggro until you get down there. Is it just one? I mean, I've seen the one, but is it the only one? Oh, there are like 3 items down there, right? think there are 3 down here, and I think there's 1 more around this corner, if I remember correctly. Okay, Misbegotten and Rats. So, is this just a rune arc? No, it's another freezing grease. Maybe once again a Renner reference, guarded by Misbegotten and Rats, as a reference to Radagon, maybe? Or maybe it's about 5 freezing grease. Nascent butterfly. Godwyn Run 10. Oh, you did the cave just yesterday. Oh, nice. So you're doing also another playthrough? Your what? Which playthrough is it for you? So this area we got a lot of Megalos lilies. To me, it seems like the first part contains a lot of references. They might be referring to America Arena, like the Godwyn Run 10, Freezing Grease, and Nascent Butterfly. All guarded by Misbegotten. So, but this one is a little bit different. A lot of Megalos lilies, which I connect to Grace in some way. Although I know it doesn't make much sense at first. Okay, let's see. Heroes Rune 2. Okay. There's something down here? No. Okay, when it's about the Hero Zone, maybe it's about the slaughter of the Tarnished and gathering their grace. And that's why we got Megalos lilies in here. Seamless co-op? What does seamless co-op mean? Oh my god, I forgot. Let's get this one first. Okay, got him. To me it seems like it's probably from the entrance. The deeper you get, like telling a story a little bit. Oh, the co-op mod. Okay. Yeah, I've heard about that one. So these two are a rune arc, I think, and 15 spirit flame arrows. And I've seen a lot of people wondering why they are placed here, because they seem so incredibly unrelated to this area. So this is the rune arc, and oh, it's 10. Okay, 10 spirit flame arrows. They don't make much sense because they are linked to the soldiers with the inverted hawk shields in the Eternal Cities. Yeah, used by the Company of the Fallen Hawk, once ordered to explore the Eternal City. What did the Misbegotten represent? So I think sometimes they might be referencing Radagon in a way, because I just linked them theme-wise, because I think the Misbegotten are... So the Crucible is highlighted in their design, right? And I think a similar theme is going on when it comes to Radagon, because I think the Crucible is more or less... I've talked about it a few times now on my stream, but the Crucible is more or less about devouring other beings. And in the same way, I think, yeah, I just think Radagon shares this theme with them. I don't know if it's the case for every area, but in most areas it fits quite well, and that's why I'm interpreting them this way the most of the time. The Crucible, as I said, I've talked about that a few times now, but the Crucible is more or less a metaphor. It's a metaphorical concept, and it's about the concept of getting forged through battle, but additionally contains the concept of devouring other beings and gaining their powers. And this is what the Misbegotten probably also do, like devouring other beings. That's why they slaughter them in a way, like they do. There's one spirit in Castle Morn which is hinting to these circumstances in a way, because I think, I can't remember the exact words, but it's something like that a spirit is afraid of being devoured by Misbegotten because he's cursed afterwards. And I think it has to do with, yeah, consuming, absorbing another one's soul and powers. And it's probably also the reason why they have these animal or beast features. And I think it's applied in a lot of cases. For example, when it comes to Dragon Communion, even Dragon Communion is linked to the Crucible, because you see, for example, a horn of on the Banished Knight's armor, and the horn is linked to the Crucible as well. The Crucible Knights also have a horn and powers of beasts, and especially the Crucible Knights are visually representing this metaphorical concept of being forged through battle. There's something going on with the sword and shield ritual talismans as well that are linked to the Crucible Knights and the ritual combat in the Colosseums, which probably is also it's just there are a lot of references that could be linked to one each other. I might discuss this in the Godfrey series at some point, because Godfrey also is heavily linked to the Crucible. Godfrey, for example, got a symbol on his cape, which seems to be a symbol representing the Crucible. And Godwyn also. And it can also be found on the Crucible Knights. Yeah, oh yeah, the Spirit Flame arrows. It's interesting that we find here some, and there's only one other place where you find Spirit Flame arrows, and it's interestingly in the Harlech tree. For some reason. And I think it has to do with Maricarena, because I associated Maricarena with Ghost Flame for one, and the other thing is we find a rune arc right next to the Spirit Flame arrow, and I think it has to do with Maricarena or Rena, whatever. Communicating with Mikela probably, and that's why we find the other Spirit Flame arrows over here in the Harlech tree. And she's probably communicating with Mikela by projecting herself in another place, similar to how Selen is doing it. I mean, Selen is also imprisoned and in shackles and projecting herself in another location. And yeah, in our case, even teaching us, and I think similar circumstances might have been taken place there. But you're right, it's somewhat complicated. Misbegotten might have even some connections to the Golden Lineage as well, which is why it makes it so confusing sometimes. I just saw some locations where it's where it looks like that it's referencing Radagon. For example, the slaughter in Castle Morn, you know, Misbegotten just kind of trapped them there and were starting to revolt and fight Edgar and the other ones that can be found there, and it corresponds with the circumstances how I interpret them, that Godfrey and his soldiers were slaughtered by Radagon, who is in some way probably also a malformed dragon or contains the powers of a malformed dragon. So I think there's some overlap there. But you're right, they are using axes, which are in most cases associated with Godfrey. And there are some, for example, here in the Golden Lineage Everjail, there are some Misbegotten who are praying towards the Golden Lineage Everjail, which made me also wonder what kind of relationship they have with the Golden Lineage. And there are also some Misbegotten who are what seems like that they're in sorrow because of circumstances regarding this place over here, who I link also to Godfrey. So yeah, although I interpret them in most cases as references to Radagon, they are somehow linked to Godfrey and the Golden Lineage as well, which makes it confusing. Okay, but now we're here. I was starting a new Godfrey series, and yeah, in the third chapter I try to explain it, but I will flesh that out in the upcoming videos that I still need a lot of time for. I mean, you can check the Godfrey series out there. Up until now, there are like 3 videos out there. Okay, let's see. Oh, he's another one with a guilty hood. Okay, let's try to interpret these items over here. We found like four degrees right above us. Maybe something with great luck in America. Okay. 2 Thorfrost boluses. 8 crystal darts. Ah, that's weird. Three Mikola's Lily. Now, okay, maybe this one is maybe referring to the what's coming up next, but it's weird because I'm assuming that the number 8 is usually linked to Radagon versus Godfrey confrontation. So it's a little bit weird that we find 8 crystal darts here. But it's weird that the maybe the 3 Mikola's Lily is about the grays that have been gathered in their confrontation. It will also fit with the angry spirit jellyfish, because I think it's the confrontation between Radagon and Godfrey is probably what America discovered. And was kind of angry about it. 6 freezing degrees. I still have no idea what the number 6 might refer to. why did I drink a potion? I mean, this one is obviously a Radagon reference that we have here. Referring to Radagon and the Elden Ring. Oh wait, if this cave is primarily referring to the slaughter of the Tarnished, that would make a lot of sense. Because it would fit the order of events here at the river. And the reference of Radagon becoming second Elden Lord. So it would make sense if we have here in this cave a reference to the confrontation between Radagon and Godfrey, and that's why the number 8 appeared there. It's for example. It makes sense that afterwards he became second Elden Lord. Okay. That kind of makes sense to me. I'm still wondering about the Spirit Flame Arrow though. RJ, I just wanted to point out the obvious. You know, I know that sometimes I appear like Captain Obvious, but you know, I just want to. I'm just speaking out loud what I think, so everyone is able to follow these thoughts, even though sometimes it might be obvious. I just try to emphasize the way of thinking. Oh, I got my ass beaten here. Cutting up? What does cutting up mean? It even fits with the description as a crusader for the one who slaughtered the Tarnished. Being a menace, cutting up, just joking around. Oh, okay. At least I learned something. I mean, if you're one of those who play Elden Ring for the first time, or if you're just a normal player who doesn't haven't been in contact with the lore community, you might not see this as a reference to Radagon. I mean, most of you guys are probably familiar with this way of thinking. But I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are not having this perspective all the time when they're playing this game. Am I not able to parry him? Yeah, here we go. Oh. I just love to parry. That's my problem. It feels so rewarding, you know? Oh, fuck. Ah. The key is figuring out so many things that are representative of something greater that sort of unlocks the idea in your hand, and then you start noticing this stuff everywhere. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, RJ. I mean, I know that you know this kind of stuff. And I know that you are jokingly around all the time too, so don't worry. I never know how that cat got Radigan's carrying sword. Yeah, you know, and that's the whole reason why I something speak out these things, because I don't think there is an immersive answer to this. I don't think that Radigan literally gave him the sword, or that Radigan literally dropped down the sword there for some reason. I think primarily they just chose a misbegotten warrior with red hair and this kind of sword because it's supposed to be symbolic for Radigan and the Elden Ring. I think almost everything that we have in form of content here is more supposed to be symbolic and some kind of reference. So, and I think that's a kind of abstract perspective, I know, but in the end, I think that's the key, and that's also how they design these things. I don't think they have an immersive perspective when it comes to the game, although they try to make to look at immersive, and I mean that's also something that the community wants to see in these things. Ouch. I mean, I know that a lot of people feel like this perspective is more disappointing, but although it may seem like we are losing the immersion, we are losing so much meaning into the game's when it comes to the game's content. I don't see it like that. I mean, on the other hand, what opens up is a huge map and the whole game in form of a riddle, in form of a symbolic riddle, and something we can work on, and which even might give us some answers. I mean, we can still consider some things like, I mean, these parallels, like character parallels, for example, they can still stand on their own. They can still be seen as that what they literal are, and we can accept them as characters. I just think primarily what the game's content and the characters are, they are just parallels, primarily. I mean, we can still see them standing on their own, but I don't think that leads anywhere when it comes to solving the lore. Oh. I'm missing my lantern, I don't see anything. And even worse, the sun is shining through my window. Oh shit. Shit! But is Dark Souls completely correct? I mean, Dark Souls lore? Sometimes I'm not really deep into the Dark Souls lore, but when I see the community in regard to Elden Ring, I wonder how much are they correct in Dark Souls? I mean, it probably haven't been as complex as Elden Ring, because Elden Ring is, as they said, a combination of everything that came before. I'm just wondering. I think it would be interesting to try to give the Dark Souls lore a take. Okay. Do you guys think I can cheese? No. Okay, can't. I don't think I can parry him when he's roaring. Oh fuck! Yeah, and in the end, the people that I've spoken to are, maybe they do not represent all of the lore community, but the experience that I had with some were kind of yeah. Hi, Ola. Yeah, I have to dodge this one differently. Maybe I just go Unga Bunga. Yeah, that works better. Although I love to parry. Damn! Kind of, they're just missing pieces purposely, so that no matter what, there is still a mystery to the story. I think Ring is the same thing. The general story is there, but fine details are gone. The lighting is awful. I have to buy myself another canopy. Is it canopy? How do you call the stuff in front of your window? The fabric. Is canopy the right word for it? Curtain. Oh yeah, sure. Curtain. this. Oh shit. Oh no. Can you give me a break? What range does this war have? Oh, come on. Got him. Phew. Nice. Nice. Ease first try. Sure. Great sword made of light, modeled after the Elden Ring itself, forged by King Consort Radagon to proudly symbolize the tenets of the Golden Order. Is the light from your window a pearl and the Elden Beast trying to stop you? Yeah, it's his influence. It's trying to influence me, guys. Where's my mirror helmet? I should put some mirror helmet over my head there. Okay. Telltale signs betray. Is that betray like betrayal? Oh, in what way does it? Oh, okay, okay, I now understand. Okay, never mind. Korean War happened before the Long March campaign. You want a mirror helm? I can get you a mirror helm, dude. Would I have been a famous streamer, I would maybe do that. I mean, I would imagine some bigger stream like real mirror helmet. like some streamer were using the Millennia's helmet. Oh, guys, I was thinking about the collector's edition with Millennia's helmet when it came out, but bro, it was so expensive. I think the helmet alone made this collector's edition like 100 or maybe 200 euros more expensive. Okay, as it seemed, I have to say I had the suspicion that that there are some references in there that might refer to the Knight of the Black Knives, but it doesn't add up. And right now, I just got convinced that it's probably about the slaughter of the Tarnished. It would fit the... It would fit that the Misbegotten is named Crusader, or someone who's, yeah, crusading, slaughtering with fire, maybe. It fits that there are like crystal darts 8 times, and the number 8, I'm very convinced that it's referring to Godfrey versus Radagon confrontation. There was a hero's rune in it as well with Miguel's lilies, which is also probably a reference to the hero's rune references heroes who died for strange reasons, and I see Miquella's lilies in most cases as a reference to grace. So it's probably about the slaughter of the Tarnished and the grace that was gathered through it. Going to Jersey is like the Tarnished going on the Long March. Is that true? I speaking of New Jersey. But a mirror helmet for cosplay would be really funny. So, and when it comes to references regarding the Crusade, I mean, and the slaughter of the Tarnished, I think it's also the reason why we find a Malcolm Dragon, also referencing Radagon with powers of a dragon, but also Anastasia, which I already linked to Radagon and the banishment. So, but where are we going next? I want to check again where the portal's bringing us to. There's a portal up there. Hey, Mark. What's up, dude? So, and there over here is a portal, and it teleports you to the Minor Earth Tree. It's even interesting that it's direct that the cave is under the Minor Earth Tree. Probably adds up to the references that the Tarnished were add to the tree. Yeah. But I just want to know where the portal's bringing us exactly. So it should be over here somewhere. You think about Godwyn? I mean, you're right. Godwyn seems to be dragon related. But I think it's more about Radagon, probably. Can you explain more about the number 8 reference? Oh, yeah. So, I think you might have seen how I explained assets and how they code areas with assets, for example. I mean, one of these examples would be the butchering knife. Like Anastasia can be found right in front of the sword monument, which is referencing the banishment of the Tarnished. And there were for some reason they coded Castle Morn with the asset of the butchering knife. And I think it's like pointing something out. It's like pointing to something, right? So the reference that we have with Anastasia and the banishment of the Tarnished relates to events in Castle Morn. So, and in this way, they are using assets, no, to code areas to connect them on a meta level. And I think they are doing the exact same thing, but also with numbers, for example. But they might even go deeper, because I think they contain meaning. What they are doing is they are just creating their own language. And when it comes to numbers, for example, the number 3 is literally is stated to be a sign of a bad omen or an ill omen. So whenever they're placing things 3 times, there's something going on with something bad happening, probably. And when something is placed 4 times, number 4 is stated as a sign of great luck. So there seems to maybe something going on with survival, or yeah, some kind of fortune. In most cases, it seems like it's referring to some kind of survival and great luck. So, and I realized that there are some other numbers that appear throughout the lands between. And another really interesting case has been the number 14, for example, because, and this kind of convinced me that they are using numbers with a meaning, because the number 14 only appears twice in the entire game, and it's with the jellyfish sisters. And there are only 2 items placed 14 times, and this is the case in Farum Azula. So, but whatever, there's something going on. And the number 8 always made me wonder, but I couldn't figure it out. And there is one dialogue line in Night Rain where they completely unnecessary mentioning 8 participants of the festival in the Raiders' remembrance. It makes no sense to mention that there are 8 participants, especially because the whole remembrance is about Raider and yeah, about the Raider. So I was wondering, why the fuck are they mentioning 8 participants? And it seems like they were coding the remembrance of the Raider with the number 8. They were just trying to mentioning the number 8 to code the whole event. But then I watched out for references or hints in the base game, and I realized that you can gain 2 weapons with the upgrade level 8. And the only 2 weapons that you get with an upgrade level 8 are Roger's weapon and Edgar's weapon. And from there on, I was wondering, okay, I consider Roger as a Radagon parallel and Edgar as a Godfrey parallel. And I was wondering, why did they give us these both weapons with an upgrade level 8? And once again, it seems like they are just coding them with the number 8. And from there on, I had the suspicion and worked with the assumption the number 8 might be linked to both of them. And as it seems, as a confrontation between them two. And so on, this interpretation works pretty well. So, I mean, it always starts with an assumption, and then I'll look up several areas where this number appears and try to make sense of it. And until now, it makes incredibly good sense in my opinion. And I'm really satisfied with the interpretation that the number 8 refers to a confrontation between those two. The Jellyfish Sisters. So, I don't know if you heard about were already in the stream when I talked about Renna. Because I think Marika, the woman's soul inside Radagon, has been Renna, the Carrion Princess of Farm Azula in the distant past. So this is where this is this is a theory that I have in mind. I think there was this Carrion Princess in the Farm Azula era, which was probably Renna and the Carrion Princess. And at some point Radagon killed her and took in her soul. Her soul was kind of traumatized and she didn't remember what happened. But later on, when she discovered the roots of the Golden Order, she remembered and started opposing against Radagon and the Elden Ring. So when it comes to the Jellyfish Sisters, I think they represent her former self, the Maiden of Farm Azula, and her past self in the distant future in our current era. So these twins seem to refer to her past self, which probably already were longing for the Age of the Stars, and her current self, which is also longing for the Age of the Stars. And the whole thing about let us see the stars, I think, is her wish for the Age of the Stars and to free the lands between from the Greater Will. Okay, where did the portal take us? Interesting, so there are other number 8 in the game that are not even remotely connected to both. What do you mean by remotely connected to both? Yeah, Zed, you're completely right. Castle Ends is referring a lot to Marika as a carrion. Completely, that's exactly my perspective on it as well. It would made it incredibly complex when I have mentioned it in my videos, so I didn't. But you might remember the Stormvale church bell symbol. And there's a reason why it is found in Castle Enzis as well. And I think Relana is actually Marika parallel. And there's even some kind of asset that I link to the Glowmite Queen. It's this wooden furniture with candles on it, you know? Because there's one of those red carpets with the Stormvale church bell symbol that is directly placed under this wooden furniture with candles on it. And it's usually found in places with... yeah, I'm not sure, but it feels like... It seems to me, at least, like for now, that it's linked to the Marika as the woman in the black hood. And although there are different colored candles on it, it's also in the Church of Iglay, for example. And I think you find the blue blue wolf shield. I don't know what it's called. Blue crest wolf shield in Castle Enzis as well. And it's, I think it's trying to hint at this fact that the wolf is always a sign for a carrion. Because it says something like, yeah, the wolf is symbolic for a carrion. And it's just pointing out, hey, we got Maliketh, a wolf, as a shadow. She was probably a carrion in some way. Yeah, when it comes to Newman, I still don't really know what a Newman actually is. Maybe it's... maybe it's just more part of a concept. Oh, and the blue wolf shield that you find it together with the red carpet with the church bell symbol of Stormvale. So it's in the same room. So the church bell symbol of Stormvale with on the red carpet is one of them is in the same room with the blue wolf wooden shield, crest shield, I don't know. Yeah, it seems like all of them are in some way mirroring Rena. And the Jellyfish Sisters work similar to D&D, yeah. In some way. I think because, you know, reincarnated, you could interpret your former self as some kind of sibling or twin. Because it's not exactly... You're not exactly the same anymore, especially when you lost your memories. And you could interpret your former self as some kind of twin. Because it was you, but you aren't that person anymore. And you might even not relate to the former person much because you might be different now. It's more of a philosophical discussion that you have there. I just think the twin theme fits just well with which how you could interpret a reincarnated self. Although I think we are Godwyn, we are not him anymore in that sense. Okay, what's going on here? Isn't it interesting? It's a putrid avatar. You just noticed that Godwyn has the same Argus runner with the trauma of death, serving their original self and their old memories from the resurrected forms. Yeah, although there are some similarities, I think when it comes to Renner, it's a bit unique because I think actually that this kind of circumstances applies to almost everyone who was slaughtered by the Golden Order because they were grafted to the Elden Ring, and when they are reincarnated, they only are reborn with partially lost memories, are manipulated to to restore the Elden Ring, for example. And I've talked about this in the first Godfrey chapter, that it seems to be the guidance of grace from the Elden Ring which is manipulating us. It's manipulating us, which is why we lost our memories and are manipulated in becoming Elden Lord. And the same goes for Godfrey as well. So, but when we come to Renna, there's one difference. And it's hidden in Roderica, which also seemed to be a parallel to the Renna of the past. And it says that Roderica actually has never seen the guidance of grace. And if we consider the guidance of grace being the influence and the manipulation of the greater will, and Roderica as Renna, which has never seen it, that means that Renna, or Marika Renna, is actually the one who remembers everything from the past. So she's the only one who is not completely lost her memories, but her memories were just suppressed by trauma. But she later remembered everything again, and from there on, there are the terrible truth that she also discovered by exploring the roots of the Golden Order. And when she remembered everything, she started to opposing the Greater Will and Radagon again. I think this is how it works in the end. And it's paralleled by the Revenant, in my opinion, because the whole remembrance of the Revenant and Night Rain is about this. It's about a trauma, a murder, and suppressed memories, which she later remembers again. You know what's crazy is how often you as a player are conditioned through dialogue with NPCs, how not being able to see the guidance of grace is a bad thing. Yeah. I mean it's kind of I mean it makes sense, right? I mean they're portraying the bad thing as a good thing. This is how manipulation works. And I think it's something they did probably in Dark Souls 2. Isn't it the same thing in Dark Souls, where you're being manipulated to kindle the first flame again? To me, it looks a little bit like Miyazaki is playing 4D chess, or it's just a stroke of genius, because you as a player got manipulated like your character in the game. I think this is what they did there. It even fits the lore. Even your perspective fits the perspective of the player lore-wise. Did I enjoy Night Rain? Yeah, I did, actually. I mean, it's a completely different experience, that's for sure. And I had some hard time. I mean, I think the first few runs are a bit difficult, but you get used to it. It's just something that you have to learn, like in most of it is in most of the From Software games. But yeah, I actually liked it. And I find the remembrances really interesting. I think the fact that they are playing with illusions and parallels is even more visible in Night Rain. Because Night Rain, it looks even more like nonsense. But that's all. But that's just the reason, because they are working with parallels, and they don't make much sense if you take them just the way they literal. I mean. Roderika's eyes are turquoise. Like that of Renna, probably, the Snow Witch. And if you think about eyes, which might mirror the soul, it kind of makes sense, because I think because you got some kind of a shaman soul or ancestral spirit. A Night Rain bingo event. Oh, nice. I think there should have been an item. Oh yeah, there's an item. Okay. 3 tarnished golden sunflowers. 3. Sign of a bad omen. Tarnished golden sunflowers. Probably tarnished. Maybe also referring to the tarnished being fed to the earth tree. What else do we have? Four warming stone. Paw. Maybe it's referring to the great luck that the maybe great luck towards the Greys and the Elden Beast and Elden Ring, that it was not completely shattered. So, I've seen some other locations, and in these, I think the warming stone is referring to Greys as well. The description says, it said that the earth tree was once as warm as the gentle sun, and would gradually heal all who bathed in its rays. I think in this case it's probably about the circumstances that Marika's soul was suppressed after the shattering and that the Elden Beast fully awakened. Because I think this is what happened. I mean, it's also on these roots. It's probably referring to the Earth Tree, and the 3 tarnished sunflowers were on a corpse in front of the tree. Yeah. Is it even pointing towards this one? No, not directly. Yeah, sometimes even the way how they are placed might also be something. So, either way, they're probably referencing the tarnished being fed to the earth tree, or the tarnished being awakened to restore the Elden Ring as a sign of a bad omen. I don't know. But the 4 warming stone are probably some kind of fortunate circumstances regarding Grace and the Elden Ring. Contributing to the survival of the Elden Ring, probably. Because we have also a reference to the shattering here as well, because it's we got here the ruptured crystal tier, and I think it's referring to the shattering. So a broken tree, the ruptured crystal tier, referencing the shattering. I think the 4 warming stone are referring to the Grace taken over, probably. Because I think the shattering was a key moment where because Marika said that Radagon is not a god yet, and I think it was in the moment of the shattering where the Elden Beast kind of fully awakened, and where the Elden Beast took over. I think that Radagon was influenced by the Elden Ring before the shattering, and acting in its will. But I think from the moment of the shattering, the Elden Beast kind of fully awakened and probably took over the control, more or less. That's how I imagine it, at least for now. So maybe the 4 Warming Stone are referring to this, to the fact that the Elden Beast fully awakened. I think the crystal tears are also placed as references sometimes, or at least where they fit well, at least. Now, I mean, what does the raptured crystal tear say? A defective crystal tear which possesses absolutely no medicinal qualities. A lesson said to be learned the hard way for some. Faith can be a volatile matter after all. So in this case, I think is about Radagon, who got shattered together with the Elden Ring, following his faith towards the greater will and the Elden Ring. In terms of gameplay, you drink your wondrous physics and then you just explode after a while. And this is the one we picked up here right now, yeah. Together with the Thorny Cracked here. I think the Thorny Cracked here might be in some way referencing Radagon, probably, because he's connected the most to thorns. Lesson said to be learned the hard way for some, yeah. I mean, that definitely sounds like Radagon, right? Oh, it's silver. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. Might not be much, but yeah, silver is interesting as well. I mean, there's another one. There's a second ruptured crystal tier, and the second one. The second one is here, I think, in Leonia, next to the roads and catacombs. Oops, what am I doing? They're essentially on opposite ends of the map. I don't know if that's why they placed them there. It might be, I have the suspicion, maybe they placed one with references to Rodigan and the other one with references to America. So, because we find one of the ruptured crystal tiers with a thorny cracked tier, which might refer to Rodigan. And I think the other one is found with the blue crystal tier, which might refer to Marika or Renna. At least that is what I remember. I'm not sure. Have I missed any item here? I don't think so. I'm completely losing my orientation sometimes in this snowy area. The cerulean tier, yeah. So it looks like one of the ruptured crystal tiers is connected to Radigan and the other one is probably connected to Marika Renna. As at least that's what I suspect. One of them is with a thorny crack tier, and the other one with a cerulean tier. Like, and I think blue is related to Renna America for the most of the time. Autocarians. Oh, there's also a Centrina's Lily. Centrina's Lily and an Ataria leaf. I should check if there's something on it. Can I climb up there? Yeah, there's nothing on it. Okay, that's it. Sometimes they seem so unnecessary, these areas with thunder, because there's nothing on in them. I don't know, maybe these areas as a whole are referencing something. Okay, we got 2 albinoids here. I mean, those over there at least look like they were patrolling from Ordina. You. Okay, guys, I only have like 10 minutes left because I have to go to the dentist afterwards. There's one really interesting asset somewhere over here placed. I want to show you this because it's incredibly well hidden. I think there are more than 4. So we got one over here. There's one in front of Castle Soul. There are, I think, two areas over here. One on the way, one where you'll fight Leon Sachs. I don't know. Might even be that here is also one. I'm not sure right now. I mean, yeah, you're right. They're not that common, though. There's one over here somewhere. Somewhere here in Limgrave should be one. Somewhere over here above the Gatefront ruins. In Weeping Peninsula, we got one above the Morn Tunnel. In east of Caria. Is there one? It could be. Caria Academy. Somewhere here on the lake, maybe? Yeah, I can't remember all, sadly. west of Caria. There might be one. I can't remember right now where exactly. Okay, guys, let me just show you one specific asset that I think is really intriguing. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, where is it? God damn. Because I have to go in 5 minutes. 11 of them. I don't know. Maybe 11 is something interesting, but I don't think that anything is placed 11 times. But I realize it's always worth to look into into those ideas, even though maybe there's nothing to it with them. Where's this asset? I can't find it. Is it somewhere over here? Yeah, it's here, okay. Because From Software is so mean by they are hiding references and assets so well, it's kinda insane. And it's this place over there. Oh, fuck my life. So, because I was once examining a specific tent, it's a flat tent that you find, for example, directly next to Yura in his first location. Let me show you this one, because, and I was interested because I thought I haven't seen that often. I thought, it seems like it's pretty rare, and whenever I think an asset is pretty rare, I think it might. Oh, it's my alarm. So whenever I think an asset is pretty rare, I think it's worth to looking into where it appears. So maybe it's used to code specific areas. And it's this tent over here. It's got on some olive brown with some weird gold black pattern on it. So, and I was examining where it appears, and it's actually placed 9 times here. I think it's 3 times placed in Limgrave, 4 times in Altus, and it's actually two times it is placed in consecrated snowfield, but you can't see it because it's covered by snow. And that's why I'm so intrigued by this tent, because it might be in some way connected to Yura as a Radagon parallel. And you can find this tent actually in Consecrated Snowfield, and it's placed here 2 times. And in one of these cases it's here. But you can barely see it because it's covered by snow, which why you can almost don't even realize that it's there. Okay, so this tent usually appears with a campfire and a bigger tent. And I've never really looked into these details much because you're just overlooking them. Usually you don't look into those details. But I realized that this is one of those olive tents with a golden pattern on it. It's just covered by snow and hidden incredibly well. And because, so there's some kind of pattern that's going on because it's always this kind of tent, a campfire, and one item. It's like 9 times throughout the whole map. It's one of them is here, the other one is in front of this cave with Astel. And there are some in Altos. One is here. Another one is next to the finger reader crone. Another one is somewhere over here, and another one should be somewhere over there. And there are 3 in Limgrave. One is here. One is with Yura. And right next to Yura, there's also another one right over there. So they're not there, and it's almost always with a campfire and an item. It's yeah, it's something that I just thought is really interesting and intriguing. So, but now I have to go offline, guys. I have an appointment with a dentist. Bye-bye. Might come back online later, though. Yeah, I will just spoil my dentist with Elden Ring lore. Yeah, bye-bye.